Hey guys, so I wanted to show 3 years of bullet journaling that I started back in 2020 when we were going through that whole global pandemic thing. I just needed a better way to record down my thoughts. I'm not new to journaling, I've done it since I was a little kid, but it's kind of gone out of the wayside and I haven't had a routine in a while, but this is the first time that I've kept up with journaling and a routine. I feel like bullet journaling helped. So these are my 3 journals right here. And so I have one starting in 2020, spanning over 2021, 2022, and then my 2023 journal here. And I wanted to kind of just take you guys through how I journal, what I started with my first year with bullet journaling, and what I've kept throughout the years that stuck with me. And so I tend to be very minimalistic in my journaling, but there's things that I've kept throughout that I'm still using today. So first bullet journal I got was this Feela bullet journal, and it actually came in this pack. So it's also called dotted journal set. So it came in this dotted journal set here, and it comes with a notebook, a pen, fine liners, washi tape, stencils, stickers, and I use this box to keep like my other journaling tools, so I have extra pens and eraser, whiteout tape as well. And I love this little kit. I've gifted it to a bunch of my friends as well. And so I'll put a link down in the description where I got this from, but it's a great starter kit for sure. And so every month or every time I want to journal, every time I want to set up a new month, I go back to this box. And so for the actual journal, Feela journal, you'll notice that I have washi tape tabs, so I like to tab my months, so it's easier for me to go back and reference different months easily. And here we have different indexes and stuff that I like to reference any pages or journal entries I want to look back at. And let's go to my key page. So I try to add a key page, and this is quite messy for my first one. So my key page, I use a lot of the traditional bullet journal notation, but I added a few of my own. And so that's how I have that one. And I also put how many squares are around so I can easily use it as kind of a ruler and refer back to this page. And then I just went kind of crazy with all the marker sets I had and referenced how it performs and how it shows up on the page as well. And I had a stamp set, so I wanted to reference the stamps. And so these are like shuttle art marker set, which is super cheap, and you'll see it like kind of bled through as well on the other side. Tombow, dual brush. The Feela fine liners that came with this set, they're actually really good as watercolor pens as well. So I really like using them for art, kind of like an amateur artist. Sometimes I have like a cover page that I do art, a little bit of drawing. Sometimes it's just literally November 2020 and that's it, and that's done. So same with here in December. I basically just have a very simple, don't have to do a cool drawing or art piece every time. I do like art, but don't have to do it every time. And then the next page, I fill out my entire calendar. And so this is something I've kept throughout the years. I always start my week off on Mondays and then do the weekends at the end. And so after that, something that I've kept is on the left, I was doing a cooking log. So I started this in November 2020. And just to keep track of the food I had in my fridge, planning what to cook, and it gave me a lot of joy just cooking, finding new recipes. So I definitely kept this throughout the years. Here's another example from my November cooking log. So we have like this is when I started, and it's like more filled out, and I could make notes of things that were good, things I should change about recipes next time to my liking. Something that I didn't keep was on the bottom was I used to have a habit tracker, but I don't keep that anymore. I got this idea from another minimalist bullet journal. So having the dates, the days of the month throughout the bottom, and I like to highlight when the weekends are. And so that was a habit tracker, but I haven't really kept up with it. On here, you could see I don't really keep track of this anymore. I kind of did away with this page, but for a couple months I was doing sleep, mood, and stress tracker, and then it would align with the days of the month. And I would have any recurring stuff, so I could track the mood I'm in, and maybe it might affect, like if I have less sleep that day, maybe I'm more just emotional or something. For water, fruits, and veggies, I tried that. I didn't really keep track of it. I really need to do a much better job of that. But so this page I don't really use as much, but the cooking log has stuck. And so that's the first bullet journal. And then the second one, I decided to do a little upgrade of this Dingbats journal. It's got a cool gold emblem. I chose the bee. And so this is our Dingbats bullet journal. It's bigger and it's just, yeah, more premium, and it feels like has a soft fabric cover. And so for this, I did the same with the washi tape. So every month I put the washi tape. I have my key, just random doodles there. Of course, you guys might remember the S sign from the 90s. Still do the squares. A good example of what I do in the beginning of each journal that I start, I put the months out, and I usually have multiple years, so I have 2 years here, and I lay out the days of the week. And for this, I use special stamps that I bought as well. So I bought these like month stamps here. And so I have these stamp blocks where I just kind of stuck it on here, and I would stamp with the correct dates and stuff here. So I have these different stamp blocks and these extra ones here, and I just use like this ink pad that I've had for a while. And yeah, so I've been just using stamps, and you'll see in my third bullet journal for the third year, I just ended up writing them in, but sometimes it's nice to have it stamped out, and I like the way it looks as well. And so that also is the month, and so I refer back to here a lot when I do a new month, and to see where the days go, because I always mess up on that. So we have June, really simple, starting a month cover page. Then we would have our calendar, and then I kept to my food journal. Here I actually kept to the stress log or sleep and mood log and what's happening with my body throughout the month. Something that has helped me a lot with anxiety, if I feel very anxious during the day, is actually an hourly mood log. So here we have on the left side, I was feeling particularly anxious, and so I tend to have my mood laid out, and this is something I started in my first bullet journal as well. I didn't have the tasks at first. It was just like literally just no tasks, and just every hour I would log like how I'm feeling. I haven't done this kind of mood log much, but when I do use it, it helps a lot when I'm having a day that's particularly stressful. And I'll show how I started the mood log in my first journal. I just log the first one, but that's kind of a simplified way, like every hour. You don't have to start at the very beginning of the day. You could just start when you feel like it. So I started mood logging at 2 p.m. there. This one is more like, what did I get done? And versus my mood, I have some mood stuff, but it's more about like, what did I get done, how I'm feeling. This was my first mood log that I started. I haven't seen anybody else do something like this. They usually have like a daily log, and it's kind of hard to sum up a whole day in one mood sometimes, especially when I'm having certain type of day. So I just kind of have been logging every hour, like feeling good, okay, great, good, okay. And it just helps kind of ground me. Just going back to how I'm feeling, and it's okay to feel that way sometimes. So that's the mood log. I think that is one of my most important things I wanted to share, was the mood log, because I haven't seen it before, and I feel like it was a great help for me. I kept the calendar here. Yeah, so this I didn't do anything. I just did December 2020, washi tape tab always. And then I have my calendar, and the way I like to set it up is either I compare, and then this is where the washi tape comes in handy. I compare against the previous month, like to align it, so the spacing is perfect for me. And I don't use a ruler because the dotted journal, it's like you're playing connect the dots. So I just kind of freehand it and connect the dots that way. You could use a ruler if you want, but yeah, so I kind of line up with last month's, or if it's close enough to the key, and then just like line it up like this is halfway. And then, yeah, so that's one other calendar example. And so now onto my last one, my latest journal for this year, 2023. I decided to be a little bit frugal and use a notebook that I already had. So this is not a bullet journal, and this is an example of how you could set it up just with a regular line journal. This is just a regular lined notebook, so just lines. So it might not be as aesthetically pleasing, but I'm like, I already have this. It feels great. I love how the cover is, and I get to kind of decorate it how I want. You'll see a lot of the same things I added. So I made space for an index. I have my key. I need to put the actual key icons and stuff here, but I have the spacing. So the spacing is going to be always different with these 3 different bullet journals. And then here is an example of just how I always have the months of the year laid out, but this time instead of stamping, I just wrote it in, and it looks okay to me. And same thing with the washi tape. So we're in the month of April now. I did the same thing with the washi tape. Things that I did the same. Let's see. I kept all the, cover pages. Here's the April cover page with the washi tape tab. And then I kept the calendar. It's a little bit different format because it is not bullet, it's line, but yeah, it's basically spans the whole view. And I could put in my events. And then I kept my food log. So here it's like things I'm planning. Oh, and I just remind myself, oh, this is what I'm planning to cook this week. Use up stuff in my fridge and my freezer, and then I'll make notes later to see how they went. And here I think I'm going to leave blank. I'm not going to do any mood, set mood journaling, because sometimes if I put things down and I don't complete it, there's a little bit of that sense of like, oh, I should have completed it. So if I know I'm not going to use it much, then I'll just leave it blank for now, and I could always add it later. The beauty of this bullet journaling, it really just, there's no limits, there's no constraints. So I think because now I've had a little bit more practice with the bullet journal, I could really journal anywhere in that style. And so I just wanted to share that because it's been working for me, and it's not gonna cure everything. It doesn't solve everything, and there's some months where I might miss a month or need to catch up. and life gets in the way. I don't journal every night, but I try to come back to these journals at least at the end or beginning of the month and set up a new month in the pages. And so, but it's there by my bedside that I could just grab and just jot down notes when I need it. And so this is really just an option of things you could do. I definitely watched a few videos along the way, and I took things that worked for me and added things, so you don't have to do things exactly like how one person says, and that's the beauty of this. You could test things out as I did and keep things later. I tend to be on the more minimalistic kind of set of bullet journaling, and so I'd like to know how you guys have been journaling, if these tips or these tactics were useful to you. Would love to hear how you use your bullet journals as well. And if you're new to bullet journaling, I highly recommend it. You could start off with the Feela set, but there's so many other things. Like, you don't have to get a whole set. You could just start off with a journal, but this one's fun. As I said earlier, I gifted it to a bunch of my friends, and it's not too pricey. And like using this one that I already have, I didn't have to pay anything extra, and it's been working for me. All right, well, that is my video of bullet journaling over 3 years and how it's going, and I would say it's going great. I highly recommend it, and hopefully you could use some of these tips. Thanks for watching.